Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us today. I'm Daniel Khalifa from our daily news, and today we're going to talk about an important theme that is going to influence our country progress. So, we're going to see more in specific the theme of tourism, in particular this connection between criminality and tourism. So, as we know, tourism is an important industry of our world. In Spain, in particular, it is the 8% of our GDP and brings a lot of employment opportunities. There have been a lot of studies about the negative impacts of tourism, and today we're going to go in specific about a study about the connection between criminality and tourism. So the information that we're giving you is based on the scientific paper of Ania Skaliwowska, which was researchers of the University of Wrocław in Poland. And in these studies, there are different researchers that try to understand the connection between criminality and tourism. In particularity, they try to understand if it's true that in night dance tourism areas there is an increasing of criminality, and it is linked to the arrival of tourists. Almost all the researchers wanted to point out that the conclusion must be interpreted as there is not sufficient attendable data from reports in order to understand if in night tourism areas there is an increasing of criminality that depends from the arrival of tourists. What almost all the researchers could establish is that when tourists go in a destination, they usually lose their sense of danger. They are in vacation, so they are with less preoccupation, and that makes possible that criminals take the aim to them. Now I'm going to pass the word to my colleagues that are going to interview both locals and tourist people in order to have two different points of view about this theme.
Hello, thank you for accepting to talk with us. Would you please tell me your name and your profession?
Hello, my name is Elena and I'm a tourist guide.
So overall, how would you describe the atmosphere, safety and security in Barcelona for the perspective of a resident?
Well, I am lucky enough to live in a part of the city that doesn't have too many criminal activities, but it's true that when I go down to the more touristy part of the city, I see a lot of thefts coming. I also hear a lot about people getting phones robbed, or even their backpacks, many cars getting broken into, even houses sometimes. I think it's not very secure, and it's getting even less secure over time.
In your opinion, do you think criminal activities in Barcelona affect the tourist decisions to come here to Barcelona?
Oh, absolutely. I have seen a lot of posts, such as Instagram posts, TikToks, where they tell the tourists to be very careful with their phones, their backpacks, when they come here by train or plane even. And I think this isn't reassuring for people when you come, because when you travel, which I luckily travel a lot, I like to go to safe places where I don't have to be constantly checking on my phone to see if it's suddenly disappeared. And also losing your phone while you're traveling, that is a very concerning thing, because you have documentation and plane tickets and everything.
Have you been part of a scam or something similar? Do you know someone that has suffered this in Barcelona?
Me personally, I'm lucky enough to not have suffered this, but I do know people that have suffered this. Tourist friends that came here, but also family and members that live here in Barcelona.
What is your perception of the presence of police security personnel in key tourist spots, and do you find it resourcing for visitors?
I think there is a presence of police in the key spots, but not as many as there probably should be, since these things keep happening. So there probably should be more police in those places.
Okay. Do you believe that the increase in tourism has a correlation with the rise of criminal activities in Barcelona?
I think so because the more tourists that come, the more potential objectives the people that steal stuff have to maybe steal from people.
Okay, and the last question. Do you think the city hall should implement some measures to try and make the city safer for the locals and for the tourists?
Absolutely, I think this is a very, very important part for not only the locals but also tourists that come here and they spend their money in our city.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Chiara.
You're welcome. My name is Riccardo from Italy, from Roma.
All right, so let's talk about your experience in Spain. First of all, where have you been and for how long?
Yes, I've been in Spain, in Barcelona and in Palma de Mallorca. I've been in Palma de Mallorca several times because my uncle lives there and I went there for a holiday. Whereas I've been in Barcelona just one time for a couple of days.
What's your perception about security as a tourist? Do you feel safe here?
I think that Palma de Mallorca is safer than Barcelona, maybe because Barcelona is a big city. I would feel safer in Palma de Mallorca, definitely.
Let's say I would not feel so safe here in Barcelona, but as other European cities, so I think it's normal by now. But you have always to have a little lookout, for dangers.
Okay, so now let's imagine you were the opposite sex. Do you think you would feel different?
I don't think that the main safety problems depend on gender. Some of them, of course, but the main ones like robberies and so regard as all.
Probably I would say that a woman could feel a little more in danger than a man, but it always depends on where are you going, what time are you going. But maybe in general, I would say yes, a little more than a man.
For example, can you tell me which are the places where you feel more in danger?
The places where I felt more in danger were public transports, like the tube, and very crowded places.
Probably like the most crowded places, as always, like La Rambla or maybe La Sagrada Familia. But in general, as always, like in Rome, also the most crowded places and maybe the barrios, the neighborhoods in the city.
Have you ever heard of crime cases or have you ever had a bad experience in terms of robberies?
During my stay, I was always careful and I tried to avoid dangerous situations.
Personally, I never had any type of problem, but I heard a lot of my friends that happened. They got robbed. One of my friends also a whole camper, so it's not the best situation in general.
Did you take any special precautions during your stay?
During my stay, I was always careful and I tried to avoid dangerous situations.
No, I didn't. I don't think you have to. In general, just you have to keep an eye around where are you going, and I think that's it.
Do you have any advice for other Italian tourists who are thinking of visiting Barcelona or in general Spain?
My advice is just to be careful, as you should do in every big city, and to have fun.
No, I don't think so. I think the dangerous situation in Barcelona is equal to Milan, Naples, Roma. So I think Italians are kind of used to it. But as always, like I told before, just to keep an eye, and I think that's alright.